This is the Iowa Weather Report for Tuesday, September 29th, 2015. Now our first look at the 0Z GFS Model Run. At 1 p.m. this afternoon, we have a westerly flow coming out of the Pacific. That's going to keep our temperatures at least back closer to seasonal levels, maybe a few degrees cooler than that with a frontal system that will be just moving out of the state. Could see some showers and maybe a rumble of thunder for the first half of the day, especially in our eastern and southern counties, with some sunshine breaking through at least in the afternoon in our far northern and western counties, and the rest of the state by late afternoon. Highs through the rest of this week, in fact, will be in the 60s to the lower 70s, but 70s will be a far commodity later in the week than it will be today. See here on Wednesday, fairly dry, fairly cool, 60s to around 70. Thursday, same story. Main weather story will be what is now Tropical Storm Joaquin off the East Coast. It may run up the East Coast with a lot of activity, bit of rain, wind, quite a bit of precipitation. It looks like it's going to run up the East Coast, and that's going to cause this system off to our west not to approach us as we head toward the weekend. It's just going to stay to our west. We're going to be in between the system to our west and the remnants of Joaquin by this point, which will move into the eastern Great Lakes in the northeast. And that's going to cause this system to our west to kind of shift to the south. So we're going to stay fairly dry in through the end of the week into the weekend, and temperatures are going to stay pretty much about where they will for this week, in the 60s to lower 70s, lows in the 40s, except tonight, where we could see upper 30s in our northeastern counties, but 40s will be commonplace the rest of the week for morning lows. Going into the new work week, though, as we move into Monday, you can see that what's left of Joaquin up in western Ontario up toward James Bay, but that's staying away from us. We'll stay mainly quiet, and the flow will be still coming out of the north and west by this point, with that trough digging in across the east. That's mainly due to the remnants of what is now Joaquin moving up into Canada. But it's going to keep the flow out of the northwest. It's going to keep our temperatures cool. It's going to keep the storm systems away as well. So after the rainfall that occurred last night and into today, it may be a while before we get any more precipitation around the state. Going into the extended period around the 10th of October, you can see a bit of a flat ridge over the south and west mainly. Trough axis just moving through the state, but mainly it's going to not be very precipitous around here. A lot of the precipitation will be off to our south and southeast, maybe a bit toward the middle of the month, but we still have plenty of time to watch this and plenty of time for things to change as well. Temperatures will start to come up. We may see temperatures way above average as we get toward the middle of the month here at the end of the forecast around the 14th. Decent system off the southern Alaskan coast, off in the Gulf of Alaska and over the south and west, but a big ridge of high pressure, winds out of the south. We could see temperatures well into the 70s, and for mid-October, that's a good 10 degrees above average. We'll see if we continue to see this on future model runs. Still don't see much of any frost for the next couple of weeks. Satellite image from last evening, we can pretty much tell what's going on here. Cold front over the middle part of the country, sagging south and eastward. Upper level feature over the southeast. Tropical storm Joaquin east of the Bahamas. That'll slowly move west and then north along the east coast. That's where you see this tropical storm warning way out into the western Atlantic. Frost and freeze advisories up in the northern part of the Midwest. Some flood issues over the Gulf Coast. Quiet elsewhere across the country, but the QPF chart precipitation over the next 5 days through Saturday evening at 7 o'clock shows a lot of the rain that's across the state is today. The east getting a lot, and so is the plain states as well.